Hi guys, welcome to this upload here on Wrestling Fan Open My Night. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. If you are new to this very video or very channel, you're more than welcome to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, so you'll be in and updated anytime when I do videos on this very platform. Now I want to talk about what actually happened at Dynamite. All I can say is this: good show. There's a few things that did niggle away at me that you literally all I can say is this: that I don't always think AEW is perfect. I tell you straight, if people watched all my videos here on YouTube as well as TikTok, I would literally be telling you the truth. It's not always perfect, but they just get it right. That's why I did that video a few weeks ago, if not a few months ago now, and it's got one of my most hits here on YouTube since I've actually launched this very channel. Now, I want to say this that I don't regret my actions in my last video I did at all. The simple factor is I still stick by them. You know, if people don't like it, that's fine. But why take it to heart what I say? But when it comes to Dynamite, I'm loving it. I want to say this, and I've said this before. Sometimes I don't have time for Collision, so I don't know what goes off on Collision. Even though, yeah, Collision's on tomorrow night. But you got to think, guys, that I've got to juggle around wrestling around my career. I'm fortunate when I have like a Thursday off, then I can watch Dynamite. Sometimes I don't get a chance to watch Dynamite, and then I don't get a chance to talk about it. That's why sometimes my videos are few and far between. So I hope you can understand that. But when it comes to something what actually happened, some things that's happened tonight, I want to point this out that I'm excited to this road to All In. Yes, we got Redemption first, but the way they did that opening segment, great. Between obviously MJF, the likes of Will Ospreay, the likes of John Moxley, the likes of Kenny Omega. I love these sort of segments, these backstage segments, to the point where I did a video a few weeks, I think it's like a couple of months ago now, that Will Ospreay at some point will be joining the Death Riders and possibly screwing John Moxley. You know, just to get revenge to lead to something, redemption. You know, because obviously John Moxley offered the likes of Will Ospreay tonight to join the Death Riders, and it looks like he accepted that because if I remember rightly, the camera zooped on their tag team match with the patch of the Death Riders logo that he was actually offered, because he doesn't offer these out that very often because he sees a lot in him what's going forward. He doesn't realise that Will Ospreay could screw him in the back going forward, or alternatively after that, or not even bother, or screw him at Wembley Stadium when they come to ringside to see his match in the title match. I love the fact where MJF obviously is back and forth technically with the likes of Will Ospreay. This is the problem where it lies, right? I say this: wrestling can be predictable, but there's always red herrings that throw in your way, and this is a prime example of it. Because I look at this and I'm thinking, yeah, that Kenny Omega, yeah, fair enough. At the end of the show, accepted the likes of the challenge that is set for Beach Break. You've literally got the likes of Kenny Omega versus MJF, and if he loses that, he would never chase for a title again. Now, me personally, don't get me wrong, like Kenny Omega, what he's actually done for the wrestling industry, not just for AEW. But I look at this, I feel like he could win this and set up towards Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega 3 at Wembley Stadium. I really want to see this match live, more than MJF versus. But the thing is, when it comes to the crunch, and I'm thinking long and hard on this, and I'm thinking, how is AEW going to protect the likes of Kenny Omega going forward if he does win next week? Is he going to be off our screens with the title, playing it safe at home so he doesn't burn himself out or gain any more injuries that he's technically recovering from after all these surgeries he's actually had over the past couple of years. Only time will actually tell, because I look at this and I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm getting the match that I want to see. But then part of me doesn't. So it's just one of those things, guys, when I look at this and I'm thinking, wow. I'll get more into depth in a minute what I'm actually thinking as well, which could be a long shot. But then obviously we actually had uh, the women's match, the five women's match, uh, five for the fittest. Is that what they call it? I forget what it is. I feel like technically it was the wrong decision towards obviously that Shiro winning it. Let alone you left the likes of Chris Statlander in there. I feel like she should have been knocked out early on, for a shocker more than Harley Cameron. Even though I feel like Harley Cameron should be deserving a title shot at some point, because at the end of the day, she's come on leaps and bounds. Obviously, she's grown on a lot of people, and I feel like when I look at this, and I feel like, and then you look at Penelope, she's actually phenomenal in that ring. She just suits it, and she really shined in that match. What I do love, they've elevated towards someone else in the future, towards being in the women's division, and that's saying something when you look at Penelope. Then you look at Queen Amanada. She's literally fantastic. I liked her when I seen her at Pro Wrestling Eve last year, let alone what I've seen of her when she's come back from injury and everything. I thought, okay, she could win this. No, she didn't get it. So they left out the two, and obviously Penelope literally attacked Chris and technically knocked her out, and should have actually got the victory on this. Now, the person, like I said, Penelope, she shined. I was hoping there was going to be someone new to get this title, but it's elevated Penelope in a lot of ways. But I feel like when you look at this, was it a throwaway match just to fill in the void? No, but it served its purpose. I just wished it was someone that I don't know if Shida has actually ever had the Women's TBS Championship. I could be wrong. I think she has. But if she hasn't, comment down below, please do. And I look at this and I'm thinking, okay, Shida's reign's actually going to begin now. Then obviously in that episode as well, we had a phenomenal tag team match with. I didn't even realize Jay Lethal was actually a tag team manager, until I saw in this match between obviously the likes of the team that he faced. I can't remember the name. I do apologize. But you look at the likes of John Moxley and the likes of Will Ospreay, they work great as a tag team. That was actually really very interesting match to actually see. Obviously, the likes of John Moxley and Will Ospreay literally got the victory on this, and that's where was starting to talk about the Zorped on the patch. So it looks like he's technically accepted. I wish there was more to this to meet the eye, because obviously I was hoping they will literally drag it out week by week for him to obviously accept. If I recall, I saw the patch. I could be wrong, but with that patch, I thought they were going to drag it out week by week until he actually accepts or turns him down, and then heading in towards a feud between them two. But you still could build up a feud between them two, like I was talking about. But I feel like, was it necessary to build up a lot more to this for him to join the Death Riders, even though he'd been sort of teasing towards heading towards this? Absolutely, it would have had more depth towards people why they want to buy into Redemption if you've not got the likes of my AEW and don't have access to it. Obviously, use a VPN, but I'm on about in general. And then obviously, I look at this. Then I look at the way Kevin Knight and the likes of Leo Rush. Great match. Every time when I see Leo Rush enter the ring, I always think he needs Mick Foley as his manager, just to say how creepy he is in that match. So when I was talking about Kenny Omega earlier on, I was literally thinking, when he says could be his last title run if he wins this title next week, and God forbid this happens, but I could see it happening. If he wins it, if Will Ospreay wins it at Wembley Stadium, you could see emotion in his face. Same with the likes of Will Ospreay with the interference before he went out and he accepted it. Does this mean that Kenny Omega at Wembley Stadium is retiring at Wembley? Makes you think. Makes you think. Because I'm not being funny, that Kenny does not work full time anymore. He can't handle it full time anymore. But that's why I was asking earlier on, are they going to play it safe with him being the champion if he wins next week? It just makes you wonder. But I'm really, really looking forward to what's in these coming weeks. Obviously, I don't know week by week if I could talk about them, but they have been phenomenal shows. And I look at the bigger picture of this. Is Kenny retiring at Wembley? Tell me your thoughts down below. But anyway, guys, I'm off. Until next time, guys. Catch you guys later.